close your eyes now. Let yourself sink deeply into this moment. Feel the weight of your body against the surface beneath you, held and supported completely. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to accomplish. For these next moments, your only task is to be here, now, breathing and listening. Imagine with me, if you will, the gentle silence of a winter's night. A night when snow begins to fall. Perhaps you've experienced such a night before, a truly quiet night, when the world is draped in stillness, and the only sound is the soft presence of snowflakes finding their way to earth. If you haven't, let me paint this scene for you. Let me bring you into this moment of perfect tranquility. The night sky above is a deep, velvety blue-black. Not the harsh darkness of closed eyes, but a living darkness that holds depth and possibility. Within this darkness, snowflakes begin to appear, each one drifting with unhurried grace from sky to ground. There is no hurry in their descent. Each crystalline form follows its own unique path, swaying gently in currents of air too subtle for us to feel. As you watch this gentle cascade, notice how the world grows quieter with each passing moment. Snow has this remarkable quality. It doesn't just fall upon the world. It seems to absorb sound itself. The usual background noise of life fades away, replaced by a cushioned silence that feels almost tangible. This is the hush of snow falling in the night. A special kind of quiet that doesn't feel empty, but instead feels full of peace, full of presence, full of the gentle now. Breathe into this silence. Let your breath become part of this quiet symphony. In through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then out through slightly parted lips, joining the stillness of the night. In this snowfall, there is no need to analyze or understand. The snow doesn't fall with purpose or intent. It simply falls, each flake surrendering completely to gravity's gentle pull. What would it feel like to release in this same way? To let go of the constant effort to control, to plan, to figure everything out. The snow teaches us about surrender, not as defeat, but as a form of grace. Each snowflake's journey from cloud to ground is an exercise in perfect trust, in allowing what is natural to simply occur. As you continue to watch this scene in your mind's eye, notice how the snow transforms everything it touches. The sharp edges of the world become soft. The familiar becomes slightly magical, slightly new. Even ordinary objects, a fence post, a garden bench, the branch of a tree, become extraordinary when dusted with this gentle whiteness. Perhaps there are parts of your life, parts of yourself, that could be transformed by a similar gentle touch. Perhaps the challenging situations you face, the aspects of yourself you find difficult to accept, only need to be seen through softer eyes. Like the snow that falls equally on everything, without judgment or preference. What if you could extend that same gentle acceptance to all parts of your experience? Notice how each snowflake, unique in its crystalline pattern, becomes part of something larger when it joins with others on the ground. individual identity merging with collective purpose. There is wisdom here, in this balance between uniqueness and unity. You too are both singular and connected, one consciousness experiencing itself, yet part of the greater tapestry of life. The snow continues to fall, each flake catching the faint light of night in tiny, momentary sparkles before joining the growing blanket below. There is a rhythm to this falling, not regular or predictable, but organic and flowing, like breath, like the beating of a heart, like the natural rise and fall of your own thoughts. Speaking of thoughts, you may notice them drifting through your awareness like snowflakes through the night sky. Some thoughts may seem heavy, demanding attention. Others might be lighter, barely noticed before they're gone. Whatever thoughts appear, see if you can watch them with the same peaceful attention you'd give to falling snow. No need to chase them or push them away. Simply notice them, acknowledge their presence, and allow them to continue on their natural path. The blanket of snow grows deeper now, covering the ground in pristine whiteness. This accumulation happens so gradually, flake by flake, that the transformation is almost imperceptible from moment to moment. Yet, over time, the change becomes profound. Isn't this how most meaningful change happens in our lives? Not in dramatic leaps, but in the patient accumulation of small moments, small choices, small breaths. Feel your body growing heavier now, sinking more deeply into rest. Like the earth receiving snow, you too can receive this moment of peace, allowing it to cover you completely. There is nothing to resist here, nothing to fight against, only the invitation to be still. What sounds might you hear on such a night? Perhaps there is the faintest whisper as snow touches snow. Perhaps the occasional soft thump as a collection of flakes slips from a tree branch. But mostly, there is that special quality of silence, a silence that doesn't feel empty, but instead feels like a presence, holding everything in a gentle embrace. This silence creates space for noticing subtle things, the rhythm of your own heartbeat, the sensation of air moving in and out of your body, the weight of your limbs growing heavier with each passing moment. This is the gift of the snow's hush. It creates room for awareness to expand into the smallest, most precious details of being alive. Imagine now that you are standing in this snowy landscape. Feel your feet making gentle impressions in the fresh snow. Perhaps it's cold against your skin, but not unpleasantly so, just enough to awaken your senses, to remind you of your own aliveness. With each step, you create a new pattern, a temporary record of your presence in this pristine world. As you walk, you might notice how your footprints stretch behind you, evidence of where you've been. Ahead lies unmarked snow, full of possibility. This moment, right now, is the perpetual meeting point between past and future. The only place where life is actually happening. The only place where peace can truly be found. You continue walking, your pace unhurried. There is nowhere you need to get to, no destination more important than this journey through the quiet night. Each step is enough. Each breath is complete in itself, each moment perfect in its impermanence, like a snowflake that exists for just long enough to be exactly what it is. The air around you holds a special crispness, clean, fresh, invigorating. As you breathe it in, imagine it clearing away any stagnant energy within you. Any tension, any worry, any residual stress from your day, all of it dissolving, melting away like snowflakes on warm skin. Looking up, you watch as more snow continues to fall from the vastness above. Each flake begins its journey from such great heights, traveling so far to reach this precise point where it joins with others. There's something humbling about standing beneath this gentle cascade, a reminder of how vast the world is, how small our individual concerns might be in the grand scheme of things. Yet paradoxically, this reminder doesn't diminish your importance. Instead, it puts things in perspective. The challenges that loom so large in daylight hours seem to find their proper size under this night sky. They don't disappear, but they become manageable, part of a larger pattern that includes both difficulty and ease, both struggle and grace. The hush of the snow creates a kind of sanctuary around you, a protected space where you can meet yourself with kindness. In this gentle silence, you might become aware of parts of yourself that rarely get attention during the busy hours of the day. Dreams you've set aside, needs you've been neglecting, feelings you haven't had time to fully feel. The snow falls without judgment, creating space for all of it. Nothing in you needs to be fixed or changed right now. Nothing needs to be figured out or solved. There is just this moment of being completely as you are, held in the quiet embrace of this winter night. What a relief it is to set down the weight of trying to be different than you are. To set down the endless self-improvement projects, the constant striving to be better, more, different, like the snow that simply falls as it is meant to fall. What if you could allow yourself to simply be as you are meant to be? The snow continues its gentle descent, each flake finding its way to exactly where it needs to land. There is perfect wisdom in this natural unfolding. No flake falls in the wrong place. No flake is wasted or mistaken. Each one contributes to the greater beauty of this winter landscape, just as each moment of your life, the joyful and the difficult alike, contributes to the unique tapestry of who you are. As you stand in this peaceful scene, you might notice how the snow muffles distant sounds. Perhaps there are faint murmurs of life happening elsewhere, a car passing on a far-off road, the distant echo of a voice, the hum of a world that continues to move even as this particular moment stands perfectly still. But all of these sounds reach you softened, gentled by the snow's acoustic embrace. This too can be a metaphor for how you might hold the noise of your own life, not by trying to silence it completely, which rarely works, but by creating enough quiet space around it that the noise no longer feels overwhelming. Like snow absorbing sound, Your awareness can create cushioning space around difficulty, space that allows you to respond rather than react. The snow reflects what little light there is in this night landscape, moonlight perhaps, or the distant glow of windows from homes where others are finding their own moments of peace. This reflective quality means that even in darkness, there is enough light to see by. Even in times of uncertainty or challenge, there is always some inner illumination available to guide your way. Feel how your body continues to grow heavier, more relaxed. With each breath, you're sinking a little deeper into this restful state. Your muscles soften, your thoughts grow quieter, your breath finds its own natural rhythm. Just as the snow surrenders to gravity's embrace, you too are surrendering to the natural pull toward rest, toward renewal. Imagine now that the snow is not just falling around you, but very gently touching your skin. Perhaps it lands on an upturned palm, or brushes against your cheek, or rests momentarily on an eyelash before melting into a tiny droplet of water. Each feather-light touch is a small awakening, a tiny reminder of the miracle of sensation. To be able to feel what a gift this is, even when what we feel is difficult. The sensation of snowflakes touching skin is so delicate that it requires presence to notice it at all. You can't feel it if you're rushing, if you're lost in thought, if you're anywhere but here. This too is a teaching that the most exquisite experiences in life often arrive with great subtlety, available only to those who have slowed down enough to receive them. As the snow continues to accumulate on the ground around you, it creates a landscape of gentle curves where once there were angles and edges. What had been familiar terrain becomes new, inviting exploration with fresh eyes. Similarly, this moment of deep rest can transform your inner landscape, softening the hard edges of old thought patterns, old stories about yourself and your life. From this softened perspective, possibilities may appear that weren't visible before. Paths forward that couldn't be seen from the vantage point of stress or exhaustion suddenly become clear in the pristine white of this new mental landscape. There's no need to follow these paths right now. Simply noticing that they exist is enough. The hush of snow falling in the night creates a special kind of time where the usual markers of hours and minutes seem less relevant. There is only this unfolding moment, stretching out in all directions like the snow-covered ground. You exist in a pocket of peace, a sanctuary of stillness amidst the rush of everyday life. In this timeless space, your nervous system has a chance to reset. The heightened vigilance that may have become your baseline state in a busy, demanding world can soften now. Your body remembers its natural state of balance, not overstimulated, not lethargic, but calmly alert, restfully aware. Notice how the falling snow creates a kind of veil between yourself and the wider world. Not a barrier exactly, but a softening filter that allows you to be present without being exposed. Within this gentle cocoon of snowfall, There is privacy, safety, room to simply be, without the need to present any particular version of yourself to others. What a relief this can be to set down the sometimes exhausting work of self-presentation, to no longer worry about how you're being perceived or whether you're meeting expectations. Like being wrapped in a soft blanket of snow, you are held in a space where your essential self is enough, exactly as it is. The snow falls with perfect patience, each flake taking all the time it needs to complete its journey from sky to earth. There is wisdom in this rhythm, neither rushed nor delayed, but perfectly attuned to the natural flow of things. Your journey towards sleep has a similar wisdom. It cannot be forced or hurried, only allowed and welcomed. So there's no need to make sleep happen. No need to monitor your progress or wonder when you'll drift off. Like watching snow fall, simply observe the gradual shift from wakefulness toward slumber. Trust that your body knows this ancient path and will follow it in its own perfect time. The blanket of snow grows deeper now, covering the landscape in a protective layer that insulates what lies beneath. Beneath the snow, seeds and roots are held in a state of dormancy, not dead, but deeply resting, gathering strength for the growth that will come with spring. You too are entering a state of restoration, a necessary fallow period where nothing is produced, nothing is achieved, but essential renewal is happening nonetheless. In a culture that often values constant productivity, this kind of deep rest can feel almost countercultural, a quiet rebellion against the tyranny of perpetual doing. Yet this rest is as essential to a flourishing life as activity, just as winter is not a failure of summer, but a necessary complement to it. Your times of rest are not failures of productivity, but essential counterpoints that make meaningful action possible. As you continue to absorb the peace of this snowy scene, you might notice how your thought patterns are changing. The busy, circular thinking that often characterizes an anxious mind is being replaced by something more spacious, more fluid. Thoughts still arise, but they move more like the snowflakes, drifting gently rather than demanding immediate attention. This shift happens naturally when we give ourselves permission to rest. We don't need to force our minds to be quiet. We simply create conditions where quietness can emerge on its own. Like the hush that descends with snowfall, the quieting of your mind is not something you do, but something you allow. Imagine now that you're looking more closely at individual snowflakes as they land. Each one is a masterpiece of intricate design, with patterns of symmetry and geometry that occur nowhere else in exactly the same way. Billions of snowflakes might fall in a single night, each one unique. What an astonishing expression of creativity, of the endless variation possible within a single form. You too are such an expression, a completely unique manifestation of consciousness, of life experiencing itself through your particular perspective. There has never been and will never be another being with exactly your combination of qualities, experiences, gifts, and challenges. This uniqueness is not a burden, a pressure to be special in some performative way, but simply a fact of your existence, as natural as the uniqueness of each snowflake. The snow continues its gentle descent, each flake finding its way to the growing blanket below. As you watch this peaceful accumulation, you might reflect on how change happens in your own life. Rarely does transformation occur in sudden, dramatic shifts. More often, it's the patient accumulation of small moments, small choices, small realizations that eventually creates meaningful change. This understanding can be deeply comforting when we feel stuck or are longing for something different in our lives. Change may not be immediately visible, but with each choice aligned with your deeper values, with each moment of awareness, with each act of kindness toward yourself or others, you are adding another snowflake to the accumulation that will eventually transform your landscape. The hush of snow falling in the night reminds us of the value of silence, of the spaces between words and actions. So much of our lives is filled with noise, literal sound, as well as the figurative noise of information, stimulation, and demand. This constant input can make it difficult to hear the quieter signals coming from our own deeper wisdom. In this snowy silence, those subtle signals have space to be heard. The intuitive knowing that often speaks in whispers rather than shouts. The gentle nudges toward what truly matters. The quiet certainty about the next right step, even when that step isn't logical or easily explained to others. As you continue to rest in this peaceful scene, your body grows even heavier, even more relaxed. Each breath seems to carry you deeper into this restful state. Your mind grows quieter, your thoughts more distant, like a conversation happening in another room that you can choose to listen to, or simply let fade into the background, the snow falling outside your window. Because in this journey, perhaps you've moved from standing in the snow to watching it from the warmth and safety of inside, continues its gentle descent. There's something deeply reassuring about watching snow fall when you are warm and sheltered. It's a reminder that you can witness difficulty without being overcome by it, that you can acknowledge the harsher aspects of life while remaining connected to your own inner warmth. This capacity to hold awareness of what is challenging while maintaining contact with what is nurturing and supportive is at the heart of resilience. Not denial of difficulty, but the ability to hold it in a larger context that includes resources, connection, and the certainty that all conditions, pleasant and unpleasant alike, eventually change. The snow outside your window continues to transform the world, covering it in pristine whiteness that reflects the night's subtle light. Inside, you are warm, heavy with the approach of sleep, held in perfect safety. This contrast between outer cold and inner warmth, between the vast night and your sheltered space, between the endless falling of snow and the perfect stillness of your resting body, creates a harmony of opposites, a balance that feels like home. As your consciousness begins its gentle drift toward sleep, images may become more fluid, less bounded by the rules of ordinary reality. The snow might seem to fall in patterns that speak directly to your dreaming mind. The hush might deepen into a silence that feels alive with presence. The boundary between observer and observed, between you and the snow, between wakefulness and dreaming, grows pleasantly permeable. This liminal space, this threshold between states of consciousness, is rich with potential. Here, the rigid categories of waking thought soften. Solutions to problems may appear spontaneously. Creative insights might bubble up from deeper layers of mind. Or perhaps there is simply the relief of letting go of the need to solve anything at all, surrendering instead to the wisdom of your dreaming mind. The snow continues its patient descent, each flake finding its perfect place in the growing blanket below. Your awareness continues its own gentle descent, moving toward the depths of sleep, where restoration happens without effort, without planning, without any need for your conscious participation. Your only task now is to allow this natural process to unfold, to trust the wisdom of your body, which has been finding its way to sleep and back again since your first breaths in this world, to release any remaining tension about whether you're doing it right or making progress. Sleep is not an achievement, but a surrender, a letting go into a process as natural and necessary as the falling of snow. As you hover in this in-between space, not quite asleep, not quite awake, notice the profound okayness of this moment. There is nothing missing, nothing lacking. No problem to solve, no gap to fill. Just this breath, this heartbeat, this witness consciousness, observing the gentle transition from one state to another. The hush of snow falling in the night wraps around you like a blanket, holding you in perfect peace. Each breath carries you deeper into relaxation. Each moment perfect in itself, complete without need for improvement or alteration. Each snowflake a reminder of the exquisite beauty available in the most ordinary of moments. If only we have eyes to see it, hearts open to receive it. And so you rest now, held in the embrace of night, of snow, of the quiet certainty that all is well. Your conscious mind can release its vigilance, its planning, its perpetual project of maintaining control. Like the earth receiving snow, you receive the gift of sleep, not by grasping for it, but by opening to it, creating welcoming space for it to arrive in its own perfect time. The snow continues to fall outside your window, or perhaps in the landscape of your imagination. Its gentle persistence, a reminder that the most profound transformations often happen not in dramatic moments, but in the patient accumulation of small surrenders, small moments of trust, small returns to the fundamental okayness that is your birthright. Rest now. Let go completely. Trust the wisdom of your body, the natural cycle of wakefulness and sleep, activity and rest. like the earth turning from light to darkness and back again, like the seasons moving through their eternal dance of growth and dormancy. Your consciousness moves through its own necessary rhythms. The hush of snow falling in the night is the soundtrack to your descent into sleep. Its gentle silence creating the perfect conditions for your deepest renewal. There is nothing more you need to do, nothing you need to understand or figure out. Only this surrender, this trust, this return to the simplicity of being. Sleep comes now like snow covers the earth, gently, gradually, transforming everything it touches with its quiet magic. Your breath deepens, your thoughts grow distant, your body heavy and warm, held in perfect safety as consciousness gives way to dreams, as effort yields to effortlessness, as doing dissolves into being. Rest now in the hush of falling snow. Rest now in the embrace of night. Rest now in the perfect peace that is always available when we release our grip on managing, controlling, directing the flow of life. Rest now, knowing that this surrender is not weakness, but wisdom, not failure, but the deepest kind of success. Sleep now, held in perfect peace. Sleep now, wrapped in the gentle hush of snow falling in the night. Sleep now, returning to the source of your being, the wellspring of renewal that flows beneath all doing, all thinking, all striving. Sleep now, complete and whole, exactly as you are.